All right, let's jump right in. We all know about hitting the gym to build our physical muscles, right? But what if you could train your emotional strength with that same kind of focus? Well, today we're diving into a framework that does exactly that. Think of it as your 1 hour workout for a much, much stronger self. We all get how a physical gym works. You show up, you're consistent, and, over time you build muscle. It's not magic, it's work. The idea here is that our emotional strength works the exact same way. It needs a dedicated practice, it absolutely requires consistency, and you gotta be patient to see the results. So, to really understand this energy gem, we first have to figure out what we're actually training. And that means we need to look past the physical body we see in the mirror and uncover the other 99% of what you really are. Okay, let's start with a super simple fact. Something that's just pure science, something we can all agree on. No matter who you are, what you believe, you are made of atoms. That's our foundation, our common ground. But here is where it gets kind of mind-bending. When you actually look at what an atom is made of, it's almost entirely energy, or, empty space. The physical stuff we think of, the actual mass, makes up this teeny, tiny, microscopic fraction of the whole thing. So let's just follow that logic, right? If you're made of atoms, and atoms are almost entirely pure energy, well, then it means that you are fundamentally an energetic being. We spend all our time obsessing over that tiny little fraction that is physical matter, and we might be totally ignoring the vast majority of what we actually are. And this giant energetic field, that's what we're going to call the energy body. But notice it's also called the emotional body. Why? Because your emotions, they're the key. They're how you manipulate and control all of that energy. If you can get a handle on your emotions, you can start to get a handle on your energy. Think about it. You wouldn't expect your biceps to just magically grow without lifting weights, would you? So why would we expect our emotional strength to grow without some kind of dedicated practice? And that brings us right back to this idea of an emotional gym. So what's the actual commitment? It's simple, but it's really powerful. Just 1 hour a day. That's it. 60 minutes. It's probably the same amount of time you might already set aside for a physical workout, but this time, it's all for building that inner emotional muscle. Now, this is the core philosophy behind the whole practice. The big idea is that if you work on your foundation, your energy body, you'll naturally start to see positive changes in your physical body too. It's like you're not just patching up cracks in a building, you're fixing the original blueprint. Okay, so what does this 1 hour workout actually look like? Let's get into the nuts and bolts and break down the daily routine. So here it is, the whole 1 hour routine. As you can see, it's a pretty balanced program hitting different things.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going to skip all the theory today and get straight to the action. I'm going to walk you through a super practical 1 hour daily routine that's designed to build up your emotional strength step by step. Yeah, think of this like a daily workout, but for your mind, your energy. It's a dedicated hour just for you to build that inner resilience. So let's break down exactly what this workout looks like. So what's the plan? Super simple. I'm just going to give you the complete step-by-step list for this entire 1 hour framework. No fluff, just the how-to. Ready? Let's get started. Okay, so first up, we're kicking things off with a 25-minute block that's all about feeding your mind and your spirit. It's broken down into 3 little parts. So step 1 is all about soaking up some knowledge. The whole idea here is to kickstart your day by feeding your brain some really powerful, positive ideas from nonfiction books. It just sets a great tone for everything else that follows. And how long does this take? Get this, just 5 minutes. That's it. Come on, we can all find 5 minutes, right? Totally doable. So here's the trick. It's all about being efficient. You're not trying to read an entire book, of course. Nope, you're just grabbing the core ideas from one new book summary every single day, focusing on topics like healing or personal growth. And a little tip, listen at about 1.25x speed. That helps you pack all that wisdom into just those 5 minutes. All right, next up, we're going to move into 5 minutes of chanting. Now, just think of this as a kind of vocal meditation. You're simply repeating a name or a sound to really create this powerful, focused connection. And again, look at that, just 5 minutes. See? These short, focused bursts are what make this whole routine so easy to stick with. The goal here is really simple. You're just trying to tap into a source of pure, unconditional love. And how you do that is totally up to you. You could recite the name of a higher power you connect with, God, the universe, whatever that means to you. Or if that's not your thing, you could even chant the name of a loved one who has passed on. The method is personal, but that feeling you're going for, that connection, that's the whole point. Okay, the last exercise in this first block is a little more immersive. We're talking about listening to spiritual mantras. You can think of these as songs or verses that just have a really spiritual, uplifting vibe. And this one gets a little more time, 15 minutes. It's actually the longest single activity in the whole routine. So this is your chance to find a comfy spot, maybe pop in some headphones, and just let those sounds wash over you. All right, so we've set this amazing mental and spiritual tone for the day. Now it's time to bring that energy into our physical bodies. This next 25-minute block is all about getting in tune with your body and your own awareness. So, this part of the workout has 3 pieces to it. We've got conscious breathing, some physical movement, and finally, something called Self-Reiki, which is actually a really simple practice of using your own hands to channel healing energy. Okay, here's how it breaks down. You're going to spend 10 minutes on conscious breathing, and you can find tons of great guided exercises for this online for free. Then, another 10 minutes of physical movement. And look, it doesn't have to be a crazy workout. Just walk, dance, jog, whatever feels good. The important thing is to move your body enough to get your lymphatic system going, which helps flush out toxins. And to wrap it up, a quick 5-minute self-Reiki practice. Just focus on any area of your body that feels like it needs a little extra love. Again, you can learn how to do this for free on places like YouTube. And hey, here's a pro tip for you, because I know some days are just crazy busy. You can totally stack these activities to save time. For example, listen to that 5-minute book summary while you're doing your 10-minute walk. Or you could do your chanting while you're doing your breathing exercises. The point is to make this framework fit your life, not the other way around. It's flexible. All right, to finish out our hour, we're going to shift from doing to reflecting. This last 10-minute block is where we really process everything and lock in all that positive energy we've just built up. And how do we do that? With 2 super simple but seriously powerful journaling exercises. All you need is a notebook or even just the Notes app on your phone. So here's what you're going to do. First, every single day, you write down 10 new things you're grateful for. And the key word there is new. You've got to train your brain to look for fresh things, no matter how small they seem. Then, second, you write down 1 new positive memory from your past. Just 2 or 3 sentences is all it takes to describe a happy moment. This is such a powerful way to train your brain to hunt for the good stuff.
All right, any good workout is only half the battle, right? You also need the right fuel. And that brings us to a really critical piece of this puzzle, something that supports all this energy work on a physical, cellular level. The recommendation here is 5 full glasses of fresh juice every single day, and about 70% of that should come from vegetables. Look, this isn't about replacing your diet. It's an addition. It's a way to just flood your system with raw, liquid energy. So you're probably asking, okay, why juicing? Why not just eat a bunch of vegetables? What makes this so special? And that's a great question. The answer is really simple. It's all about volume and concentration. I mean, think about it. Could you actually sit down and eat 10 whole carrots in one go? Probably not. But you could easily drink the juice of 10 carrots in a single glass. It's a hack to get a massive dose of nutrients into your body without all the digestive work. And that's the whole point. You're creating a huge surplus. You're giving your cells way more energy and nutrients than they need just to get by. You're basically telling them, hey, here are all the resources you could ever want. Now get to work and repair yourselves. Okay, so we've got the workout and we've got the fuel. But how long does it take to actually see results? This isn't some weekend fix. The whole framework is proposed as a starting commitment, a 6-month challenge. Let's just look at the worst-case scenario. If you do nothing, well, you get 0 benefit. If you try this routine for 6 months and it's not some miracle cure, you are still guaranteed to get some benefit. Even if it's just a 10% improvement, isn't that infinitely better than nothing? You really have very little to lose here, and potentially everything to gain. But it's also really important to be realistic. Just like at a physical gym, everyone's body is different. For one person, 6 months could bring huge, profound changes. For someone else, it might take a lot longer. The timeline isn't really the point. The commitment to the process, that's the point. And that really is the most important takeaway from all of this. We're always looking for that magic pill, that one event that will fix everything overnight. But real healing, whether it's physical or emotional, is never just an event. It is always, always a process. So you have the framework now. You've seen the whole thing, from the big idea to the daily routine. The real question isn't about committing to 6 whole months. It's about right now. What's the one small thing you can take from this? The one thing you can do today to start your first workout at the emotional gym.